There's a specific kind of silence that only exists at 3 a.m. It's a heavy silence. It presses against your eardrums, and in that silence, you find yourself staring at a screen. Think back to the consoles of your childhood: a Nintendo 64, a PlayStation 1, a bulky PC monitor. These weren't just tools, they were boxes of rules. You turn them on, you play, you win or lose, and after that you turn them off. When the power cuts, the world inside should cease to exist. That's the contract we have with these softwares. But have you ever noticed how a room feels different right after you turn the console off? The screen is black, but there's a static charge in the air, a lingering warmth. Tonight, we're talking about the things that don't go away when you flip the switch. We're talking about the haunted code. We aren't looking at jump scares or horror games designed to make you scream. We're looking at the ghosts that weren't supposed to be there, the entities that emerged from the cracks in the programming. Because as it turns out, code is a lot like a house. And if a house can be haunted by the people who lived there, why can't a save file? Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Torrid Embrox, in the show Mindful Progressor Journey, and tonight we're talking about the haunted code. We'll be talking about the boy in the water, the watcher in the woods, and the glitch that shouldn't exist. So, our journey begins in 2010. The internet was a different place then, smaller, more gullible, more prone to campfire stories. On a forum called 4chan, a user named Jadusbull posted a story that would become the blueprint for digital horror, because it did. It started with a yard sale. He bought an old ink-smudged cartridge of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, for those who haven't played it, Majora's Mask is already a traumatic game. It's built on the mechanic of impending doom. You have 3 days to save a world called Termina before a terrifying, grinning moon crashes into the earth. You are constantly playing with time, slowing it down, speeding it up, resetting it. It's a game about the 5 stages of grief. But when Jadusable plugged this specific cartridge in, he found a save file already waiting for him. One simple name: Ben. The psychological anchor. He did what any of us would do. He deleted it. He wanted his own story. He started a new file named Link. But the game, it didn't want to let Ben go. Suddenly, NPCs, the townspeople of the game, started calling him Ben. Then they stopped calling him anything at all. The music began to play backward. If you've ever heard the Song of Healing from Zelda played in reverse, it sounds like a funeral dirge filtered through a broken radio. The Elegy of Emptiness. The horror peaked when the game began spawning a statue. In the game, there is a spell called the Elegy of Emptiness that creates a lifeless, hollow shell of your character. It's meant to be a tool for puzzles, but this statue started following the player, not walking, just appearing. Every time the camera turned, it was there, staring with blank, unmoving eyes. Chajuzable began to record his gameplay, and this is where the world took notice. The game started talking back. Text boxes appeared that weren't in the original code. You shouldn't have done that. In quotation. For the analysis now, why does this strike such a chord? It's because it breaks the social contract of the game. A game is supposed to be a dialogue between you and the developer. When a third party, a ghost, a previous owner, or simply, for example here, a Ben, enters the dialogue, you are no longer the protagonist. You are an intruder in someone else's grave. The story revealed that Ben was a neighborhood boy who had drowned years prior. The haunted code wasn't just a glitch, it was a digital monument, a consciousness trapped in a loop of the same 3 days forever. If Ben Drowned is a story about a haunted object, our next subject is about a haunted space. Minecraft is, by definition, the loneliest game ever made. If you don't have friends, that is. You are dropped into an infinite, procedurally generated world, billions of blocks, no people, just you and the world. In the early days of the alpha build, rumors started circulating about a second player, someone who appeared in the fog at the edge of the render distance. He looked exactly like the default character, whose name is Steve, but his eyes were pure glowing white. They called him Herobrine. Now for the mystery of the build. The sightings were always the same. Players would find things they didn't build. 2x2 tunnels in the rock, perfect sand pyramids in the ocean, trees with their leaves stripped away. Think about the feeling. You are in a world that is supposedly yours, you own every block, and yet you find evidence of another will, another hand. Now for the mythos. The legend grew. People claimed Herobrine was the dead brother of Minecraft's creator, Notch. They claimed he was a ghost in the machine, a sentient piece of code that was watching us play to see if we were worthy of the world. But here is the fascinating part. Herobrine doesn't exist. He has never been in the source code, not once. And yet for years, Mojang, the developers, would put removed Herobrine in their official patch notes as a joke. But was it a joke? Or was it a way to acknowledge the collective hallucination of millions of players? Now for the analysis. Herobrine represents the fear of observation in an infinite world. The scariest thing isn't being alone, it's the suspicion that you aren't alone. It's the feeling of eyes on the back of your neck while you're mining in the dark. We created Herobrine because the human brain hates a vacuum. We would rather be haunted by a ghost than be truly utterly alone in the digital void. Our final entity isn't a ghost in the traditional sense. It has no eyes, it has no backstory, it doesn't want to talk to you. It is a block of static, a staircase of pixels. It is missing number. In the original Pokemon Red and Blue, there was a specific set of actions you could perform. Talking to an old man in Viridian City, then surfing along the coast of Cinnabar Island, that would break the game's logic. The game would try to pull data for a Pokemon encounter where there was no data to be found. To keep from crashing, the game scrambled to gather a placeholder. Now, for the horror of the glitch, missing number is the uncanny valley of logic. It is a bird/normal type Pokemon that can reach level 255. It can duplicate the items in your bag, but it also corrupts your Hall of Fame. It makes your character's sprites flip upside down. If Ben Drowned is a ghost and Herobrine is a stalker, then missing number is a corpse. It is a look behind the curtain at the raw, bleeding meat of the code. Now the technical terror. We fear missing number because it represents the fragility of our efforts. We spent hundreds of hours building our Pokemon teams, saving our progress, nurturing our digital pets. Missing number is the reminder that all of your hard work, is just a fragile layer of paint over a chaotic sea of zeros and ones. It is a void staring back. It tells us that the world we're playing in isn't real. It's just a simulation that is one wrong turn away from dissolving into static. Why do we tell these stories? Why do we want our games to be haunted? Maybe it's because we're the first generation of humans who will leave behind more than just bones and jewelry. We are leaving behind data. We leave behind ghost labs in racing games, recordings of our fastest times that our children can race against long after we're gone. We leave behind social media profiles, last seen active 5 years ago, for example. We leave behind save files where our characters are still standing in the exact spot we left them in 2004. These haunted codes, Ben, Herobrine, missing number, they're just metaphors for our own digital immortality. We are afraid of being forgotten, but we are also afraid of being preserved in a way we can't control. The next time you're playing an old game and the screen stutters, or you see a figure in the distance that shouldn't be there, don't just call it a glitch. Maybe the game is just trying to remember someone. Maybe it's waiting for you to join them. Thanks for listening to Mindful Progress: A Journey. This episode was written and hosted by yours truly, Torrid Embrox. If you've ever encountered something in a game that shouldn't have been there, then reach out. We would love to hear your story, all of us, me included. Well, so there's nothing much left to say. Until next time, I guess. Stay in the light, and remember to save your progress while you still can.